dresser, the finesser.
Actually, this kid's pretty good.
With his cup of coffee and his mismatched socks.
He was a character.
And it was like, this guy's unique.
College, every day too, he does my hair.
That's it.
That's totally how he dresses. He wears 2 different socks to work too. He might have a high IQ, I'm not 100% sure on this.
And who are you?
My friends call me JJ.
I'm glad we have this opportunity to explain what JJ, Jennifer Giroux, does. JJ is an FBI agent whose specialty is communications. She coordinates press conferences and she's the sort of public face on the investigation.
Layering the release of information to the media affects things in such a major way, which is a big part you see in the episodes.
I think of her as an intern / sidekick to Hodge or to Gideon. We'll have a press conference.
When?
Soon.
Come on, JJ. Give me something, huh? For old time's sake.
Okay. You may want to rethink that tie.
Even her coloring is so different than everyone on the show. You know, pretty blonde but very smart woman comes into the group.
In those eyes. Ooh.
Office of Unfettered Omniscience. Penelope Garcia is in. Speak, oh fortunate one.
In the pilot script, it was written as a very overweight, Latin, balding, quirky man who answered the phone.
I have penned word for her, which is tech kitten, which is somewhere between technical diva-esque and sex kitten. She's sort of like the Wonder Woman of all modalities.
Isn't this spooky?
Isn't what spooky?
That right now you are thinking about me and out of the blue your phone rings and it's me, huh? How's that for a spiritual connection?
That's my baby mama. That's my sweetheart. She's a doll.
She's very flamboyant, doesn't care. She made a deal with the FBI that she would work for them if she didn't have to, you know, stand to their dress code.
There's an information flow on the screens around her at all the time, and that she's able to be the oracle in the temple there.
She also can write like code like nobody's business.
She's so important because these episodes can get heavy and dark, and there's just these moments of light that pop up.
Writers, to me, are always the heart of the matter.
From my perspective, I think we probably got the best writing room in town because they're just so good and they work so well together.
We started in June. All of the writers got together, and we just spent 2 weeks meeting every day for 8 hours a day. First, we talked about the characters and who we thought they were and what their backgrounds were, and we started throwing up on the board serial killer ideas. The secret, it's a secret, is that we're telling Arthurian stories. To us, these are the Knights of the Round Table, and they're going out to fight the biggest dragons we have in our society today, which are serial killers and serial criminals. The room where they get all the crimes, the table is round. That's on purpose.
We have a nice sort of communication, I think, between the actors and the writers on this show. We're really adamant on this set about doing a read-through. The day before we start a new episode, we have the entire cast, all the guest actors and the director. So if you are reading something and it doesn't quite have your voice, or maybe you've tracked it and it doesn't quite make sense, they're really open to answering questions. It's a real joy to be able to hear all the other actors that are bringing your show together.
We do 22 hours of television. It's like 11 full-length movies every season. So it's impossible to do if you try to do it all by yourself. I don't like people to go home and write. I like them to write in their offices so that they can walk from office to office.
We're really kind of all hands on deck when people need the help.
This is what a very busy writer looks like with a deadline.
Oh, yeah, this is an ugly, ugly place.
It begins with the creative effort of coming up with the seed of the idea.
All we talk about is ways of killing people all the time.
And of course, the things we talk about are so much worse than what you actually end up seeing, because we have to get into the minutia. And
we've cut light cords off of lamps to see if you could use it to strangle people.
We've tallied the on-screen fatalities of our episodes. Our first couple of weeks we started off as 1, then we sort of like grew. We peaked at 4 with the fox.
You may have separated each family member. Tells the children, if you cry, I'll kill mommy.
The basis of all of it is real. We've never done anything on this show that hasn't or couldn't happen.
Members of the BAU come from time to time, and they tell us what they think is too Hollywood and what they think is real to life.
We have a profiler that we talk to quite a bit named Jim Clementi, who's an amazing guy.
You try to get everything as absolutely right as humanly possible.
To me, the more interesting show is not what the viewer sees.
Here we go. Set.
It's a real zoo. The greatest pleasure of the job are the crew that we work with every day. Got about 150 people downstairs. They're some of the most wonderful people I've ever been around. They work the hardest. Crew gets here first. The crew's setting up every shot, all the lights, all the set decoration, all the filters, all that camera angle. They're there every single second, concentrating 24/7.
There's so many different parts that have to go right for anything to be good. It's sort of amazing that anything's ever good.
That's a cut. Moving on.
We're expected to deliver a feature look in a 1-hour drama in a quarter or less than that time, very fast, like speed chess.
We shoot 22 episodes at 8 days an episode, and the pace is unrelenting. It doesn't stop. You're shooting or prepping every single day. The company never stops shooting.
The BAU is always the launching pad at the beginning of each show, and then we're off and running. So that means that we're building a lot of sets. So we've had to be very nimble in terms of quickly figuring out how to create new floor plans and move things around. We build a police station almost every episode.
I am so tired of police stations. I have now done 20. It's like I'm going to blow my brains out if I have to design one more police station. Unless it's like Bratislava or something. There it is.
In terms of actual FBI offices and facilities, almost anything you build is a little more exciting, a little bigger, more open and shootable, because most offices are not that interesting to shoot. So we wanted to create a space that had some different levels, that had a lot of vistas, and so that you could do a lot of interesting walk and talks. I did the high vertical windows to get a little bit of a sense of a fortress.
So we'll choose lenses according to the content, the emotion of the scene, and also, is it light? Are they joking? Are they playful? Then it's more of a comedic, maybe wider, 2 shots and loose singles.
There wanted to be a sense of momentum. If something as terrible is happening, you don't want everybody sitting around just talking about it. But if they're on the jet, you at least have the sense that, okay, they're on their way. You know, they're going as fast as they can. So the jet really serves that purpose. The jet is an extension of their workspace. It's not romanticized. It wasn't a customized jet that was built out for them.
We hate shooting in that plane because it's this big, and you get 50 guys who've all eaten whatever for lunch in that plane. It ain't always so fun.
We have a fantastic location department that we've all been trained to do, which is to try and find whatever location you're trying to portray within the Los Angeles area. Especially in the television format, you have to get the flavor in there quickly. Put a bus bench here. We have extras waiting here. Give us an excuse to bring in a lot of color, and then I want to put the paper signage up on this wall, break up this wall.
We just finished our scout for looking for the Mexican town, and things went well. First with some of the exteriors, but we looked around a little bit more and found exactly what worked best for this episode. So when you watch it, we have so many things that we need to film, and to find it all in one spot, we get lucky sometimes.
When you watch a piece of the show, you see nothing that you saw when you were filming it. You see these various visual effects and the nature of the speed of the editing and the music and the tempo.
Our editors, though, are highly challenged on this show because they actually take sequences that sometimes are not scripted, and they'll create fabulous montages with stock shots, special effects shots, and quick cutting patterns that were established in the pilot.
The green screens give us an opportunity to sort of visually express what someone is thinking rather than having someone just stand there and talking all the time about what they're thinking.
The actors perform in front of a green screen, which then allows us to composite or marry them together with a totally different plate.
Marker.
Throughout this whole season, we've been trying to create different ways of doing it. So every episode is interesting because it's always experimental.
Vigilantes are extremely rare. The exaggerated drama of these killings suggests that they're somehow personal.
In the train episode where Reed is talking about this genius who created something called the string theory, and he's confronting him, and all of a sudden as Reed is talking, out of him grow these strings. And in that same